your business can double its revenue and become less valuable at the same time. The order book is full, but the owner is still approving discounts, chasing exceptions and explaining why invoices haven't gone out. The team is busy, margins are slipping, decisions are slowing down, and every new customer seems to require a slightly different version of the business. That's the complexity ceiling. Growth is still happening, but it no longer makes the company stronger. It makes the company harder to operate. So what, right? Why does this happen? What should you do about it? And why does the decision matter if the revenue is still going up? Welcome to Why Businesses Stop Growing, the podcast for business owners, CEOs, and investors who want to build stronger, more profitable, and more valuable businesses. I'm Chris Wimstress, Commercial Growth Advisor and founder of Hawthorne Advisory. Each week, I'll diagnose the commercial challenges holding businesses back, share practical insights from over 25 years of leadership and commercial experience, and give clear recommendations to help you grow with confidence and build lasting business value. Complexity rarely arrives as an obvious mistake. It arrives as a reasonable decision. A valuable customer asks for a different report. Sales promises a small extra service to win a deal. Someone creates a spreadsheet because the system doesn't quite fit. A workaround is meant to last 2 weeks and is still being used 3 years later. 1 exception is manageable. 10 exceptions are annoying. 100 exceptions become the operating model. And who owns the total? Usually nobody. Sales owns the promise. Operations owns the workaround. Finance sees the margin later, and the owner absorbs the conflict. The customer experiences their own promise. Your business experiences the total of every promise. Those are very different things. A professional services firm might provide the same basic report to 3 clients. One wants it on Tuesday, one wants different measures on Friday, and one wants a meeting instead. The team says, it's basically the same work. It isn't. 3 formats create 3 planning rhythms, 3 quality checks, and 3 chances for something to be missed. Then add a special billing rule, an extra approval, a bespoke dashboard, and a founder who signs off every unusual request. The company may have 5 services on its website, but 17 ways of delivering them. That isn't flexibility. It's a hidden cost base. The warning signs are usually visible before the crisis. Revenue rises while gross margin stays flat or falls. Senior people spend their week answering questions that should have been settled by a clear process. Delivery depends too heavily on who happens to do the work. New starters take too long to become useful. Work sits in progress. Billing is delayed and cash gets trapped in the gaps. Here's a simple illustration. A service sold for £10,000 may appear to carry a 40% gross margin. Add 12 hours of senior review, 2 rounds of rework, and a 6-week delay before the invoice is agreed, and the contribution looks very different. The headline revenue hasn't changed. The commercial reality has. You don't need perfect data to investigate this. You need to follow one piece of work from the first promise to the final payment. Pick one product line, one customer segment, or one delivery process. Then ask 5 questions as you go. What value does the customer genuinely receive? Not merely what do they request, but what would they pay for, renew because of, or miss if it disappeared. A request is not automatically a value driver. How much effort does delivery really take? Include meetings, handovers, checking, rework, administration, and escalation. If you count only the visible production time, you're measuring the postcard version of the business. How much variation is involved? Count the ways you quote, schedule, deliver, approve, invoice, and resolve a problem. Then ask where management has to intervene and estimate the hours. 5 minutes here and 20 minutes there still add up, especially when the same issue returns every week. Finally, what does the variation do to cash? Does it lengthen lead times, increase stock, delay billing, create disputed invoices, or keep work unfinished? A service can look profitable on paper and still be a poor commercial choice if it consumes capacity and delays cash conversion. Now comes the part many leadership teams avoid. Every variation needs a decision. Standardize it. Price it differently, delegate it with clear boundaries, or stop doing it. Let's pick the sweet corn out of that. Standardize the work that repeats and creates value. A standard process isn't a restriction. It's how you protect quality, shorten training, and make performance visible. Give people a dependable starting point, then make genuine exceptions visible rather than allowing them to become the default. Price the exceptions properly. If a customer wants a different delivery pattern, additional reporting, or a special approval route, show the commercial consequence. Don't hide the cost inside a standard price and then wonder where the margin went. And I can hear the objection already, but that customer brings in £200,000. Fine. What does the $200,000 contribute after the extra people, delays, rework, and senior attention? Revenue matters. Contribution matters more. That doesn't mean abandoning valuable customers or stripping away the thing that makes you different. Absolutely not. Protect the variation customers value and you can deliver profitably. Challenge the variation that exists because nobody has reviewed it since the business was smaller. If necessary, migrate the customer to a better fit offer or provide a proper transition. You also need clear decision rights. Who can approve a discount? Who can accept a non-standard request? Who defines a completed job? What happens when sales wants speed and operations wants control? If those boundaries are unclear, every exception becomes a leadership issue. Measure contribution, not just revenue. Look at margin, effort, capacity consumed, cash timing, rework and management attention. A smaller account that fits the operating model may be more valuable than a larger account that requires constant rescue. This matters because investors and buyers aren't only buying your revenue. They're buying repeatable earnings, durable customer relationships, a capable management team, and confidence that the business can operate without one person holding every thread. Complexity creates questions in due diligence. Why is the margin moving? Why does the owner approve so much? Why are customers served differently? Why does cash conversion vary? Every unanswered question introduces perceived risk, and perceived risk affects value. Reducing complexity gives you more than efficiency. It creates leadership capacity. It improves resilience. It makes succession more realistic because a new leader can understand the machine without first decoding every historical compromise. More sales through a confusing model simply magnifies the drag. So before your next growth push, choose one area and trace it from promise to cash. Ask what the customer values, what delivery really takes, how much variation exists, how much management time is consumed, and what happens to cash. Then make one decision: standardize, price, delegate, or stop. Test the change with a small product, customer, or process segment. Use contribution, capacity, and customer outcomes to judge it. A stronger business isn't the one that says yes to everything. It's the one that knows which yeses create value, which yeses create risk, and which no's protect the future. Just get it done. But first, make sure the thing you're doing is worth making easier. Thanks for listening to Why Businesses Stop Growing. If this episode made you think differently about your business, follow the show and share it with another leader who'll find it valuable. Tell me on social media the first complexity you would remove, standardize, or price differently in your business. Until next time, keep asking why.